And Murray DeVore, our odds maker, says...
It's the Braves against the Phillies from Atlanta. Good afternoon, everybody. Along with Skip Carey, this is Ernie Johnson, speaking to you from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where this afternoon we conclude a 4-game set with the Philadelphia Phillies. Tomorrow's off. We come to you from Los Angeles on Tuesday. Well, Mr. Carey, we've had a change on the coaching staff.
Yes, we have. Because of the illness to Tommy Aaron, who we hope will be back before the season is over, Eddie Haas has been recalled as first base coach for the Atlanta Braves. That allows Joe Pignatano to go back to the bullpen. Rube Walker, the pitching coach, along with Bob Gibson, comes back to the dugout. Haas will also serve as a hitting instructor, specializing in the younger players he managed at Richmond, guys like Gerald Perry and Albert Hall and Brad Kamensk. Also, Ernie, Johnny Sain is back as an observer. He'll be watching the Braves from the stands for the next 2 weeks and adding some input as to what's wrong with or what can be done to help our pitching staff.
And he'll start off by going with us on this road trip that starts tomorrow. Today, Carlton against Mailer. Those are the pitchers. Back with the starting lineups right after this word.
Field for the Phillies. Von Hayes will play center field. He will bat second. Juan Samuel, the second baseman, hits third. Mike Schmidt will play third and bat cleanup. Tim Corcoran, the first baseman, bats fifth. Glenn Wilson in right field will hit in the sixth spot. Ossie Virgil Jr. does the catching. He bats seventh. Ivan De Jesus, the shortstop, hits eighth. And Steve Carlton will do the pitching. He's 8-4 for the year, a 2.99 earned run average. For the Braves, some late changes in their lineup and some very interesting ones. Jerry Royster leads it off in left field. Rafael Ramirez will play shortstop. He will bat second. Dale Murphy plays center field. He will bat third. Bob Watson in the lineup and reactivated just prior to game time here. He will play first base and bat cleanup. To make room for Watson, Terry Harper has been optioned to the Braves AAA Farm Club at Richmond. Brad Kamensk will play right field today. He will bat fifth. Randy Johnson, who was to start at first base, is starting at third, batting sixth. Glenn Hubbard will play second base. He will bat seventh. Bruce Benedict will do the catching and will bat eighth. And Rick Mailer will pitch. Mailer 6-5 for the year, a 2.31 earned run average. Your umpires, as assigned by the National League, Dave Pallone will call the balls and strikes today. Bob Engel at first base, Dana DeMuth at second, and Paul Runge will call the plays at third. The Braves have won the two of the first three games of this series. And they take the field right now as Chief Nakahoma has made his way toward the teepee. The Padres lead the Pirates 2-1 at the end of 4 innings in the first game of a doubleheader this afternoon. It's the only National League game that is underway at this point. You look at the Braves' defensive alignment. In the American League, at the end of an inning, Detroit 1-0 over Texas, and after 3, the White Sox and Indians are scoreless. All the other action there is later on. The British Open today, won by Ballesteros of Spain by 1 shot over Tom Watson. So Mailer completes his warm-up tosses. And the Phillies will send Greg Gross, Von Hayes, and Juan Samuel to the plate. In the first inning, Philadelphia has just reactivated Len Matuzak, a first baseman who has been out for a couple of months with injuries. You see the stats on Mailer. He has pitched in horrible luck in recent outings. And if he continues to pitch the way he has, he's in line for a long and very prosperous career in the Atlanta Braves rotation. Once again, Johnny Sain has been the roving pitching instructor in the minor leagues. Prior to that, the pitching coach at Richmond. Johnny Sain is here and will be with the club for a couple of weeks, as we mentioned earlier, to give another look and another viewpoint as to how things are developing for the Atlanta team. Bad note for the Padres this afternoon. Their fine center fielder Kevin McReynolds has been forced out of the game with a strained back in the first game of that doubleheader. Well, Greg Gross is ready to lead it off, and ready to lead it off as far as the play-by-play story is concerned. Here once again is Ernie Johnson.
All right, Skip. Gross in his first start in the series, when he started ball games, he's hit well. He started 10 games and batted .429. He's been used as a pinch hitter in this series. He's 0 for 2. Mailer lost that tough game in Philadelphia. If you recall, it was called after 7 innings due to rain. 1-0. Hudson won it, and Mailer was a tough loser. We're ready to go. Here's the first pitch. Bunted. Beauty. It's going to be a base hit. Perfectly placed bunt. Gross is at first. Washington was in the starting lineup. He was scratched.
You see the bunt again. It's absolutely perfect. You can see it, but we can't up here. Our monitor is very, very sick.
Hayes a better.
I think our monitor stayed out too late last night.
He joined the crowd, huh? Hayes has 1 hit in 11 tries in this series, which is now in its 4th game. The Braves have won 2 of the games. In fact, they have captured the season series from Philadelphia 7 games to 4. Samuel is on deck. Two now. Mailer with a good enough fastball. Several speeds on his curveball. He's got a slider. He also will flip a straight change at you. Atlanta 6.5 out of first. The Dodgers are 8 back of the Padres. Now a 2-0. Fastball, 2-1. Dave Bristow coaches at third base, and Darren Johnson at first. At one time, both were employed by the Braves. One as a manager, one as a player. 2-1. In there, 2-2. Yesterday's crowd was almost 35,000. We won't have that today. But it's a good Sunday afternoon crowd. Two-two. Slow curve, pop, short right. Comments, got to play. 1 down. He hit it the same way it was thrown, softly. Now Juan Samuel. He's had a good series with 5 hits. Knocked in a couple of runs. He's stolen 3 bases. He's a National League leader in stolen bases, 46. And he's been caught 9 times. Curve is in there. Samuel's also among the leaders. In doubles, he has 22, tied with Hubbard for the lead. Triples, he has 12. He's second there. 125 hits. He's a leader there, and he's a leader for the Rookie of the Year, along with Dwight Gooden, possibly, of New York.
Ron Darling, too, I would think
that's
has
right.
to be considered.
Oh, and 2. Fastball over.
Flip, partly cloudy Spiceland of CNN. Weather forecaster celebrating yet another birthday today.
Our best wishes.
The world's last living Cardinal fan.
Slow curve. Hit toward right center. Extra bases. And maybe a run. Yes, it will. A triple and an RBI. Samuel just keeps on keeping on. He tripled, making it 1-0. That was an off-speed curve, and the youngster just waited for it and wrapped it in the right center field. And before Murphy or Cummins could get it in, it was a triple.
Watch him wait on this pitch. Actually, not a bad pitch by Rick. He got it down, but Samuel was looking for it and really belted it.
Now Mike Schmidt. We haven't any report why Washington was taken from the lineup. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Washington was in the original lineup, and at the last second we've had several changes. If we get any information, we'll naturally pass it along to you. Schmidt with 410 homers, and he's hit 34 of them against the Braves. Fly ball right. That will score the run. 2-0 on a sac fly by Schmidt. So quickly, Philadelphia out in front. They scored 2 yesterday in the first. Braves went on to win 5-3. On Thursday, they scored 5. The Braves did not go on to win that ball game. It was 9-1. So there have been some first inning blues for Atlanta just about all season long. Corcoran, and he's had a good series with 6 for 12. A guy who's been finally given a chance to play, and he's 31 years old. He's been in baseball a long time in the Tiger organization. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 12, and he fouls it away. You pull for people who hang around the minor leagues year after year, waiting for their chance and finally get it, and you hope that they succeed. That's the case of Tim Corcoran. A little bit high with the change. Philly's been a better road team really than a home team. That's in there. 2-2. Now a 2-2. Little low. On occasion, Mailer will flip that knuckleball in there too. The Phillies are 23-24 at home, 29-18 on the road. That's fouled away. The Braves are 24-24 at home and 26-23 on the road, so they play a little bit better away from Atlanta. And we'll be away from Atlanta for about 10 days starting on Tuesday. We come to you from Los Angeles. Right field hit. And he waited on the let-up. Corcoran with his 7th hit in the series, 7 for 13. The batter, Glenn Wilson, who's starting his first game in this series. Two to nothing, Philadelphia. On one. Sidearm bounced to short. Should be out number 3, but you're going to have to hurry a little bit. And he got him. Ramirez to Watson. The Phils pick up 2 on 3 hits. Scored twice, top of the first. Atlanta coming to bat. In there. 0-1. Next one almost hits him. San Diego's increased their lead. Now 4-1 over Pittsburgh in the first of 2 in the 5th inning. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Mailer will be 31 years old in August. Outside corner, 2-2. Al Lamacchia, who works for Toronto, signed Rick Mailer when Al was a scout for the Braves. Mailer wasn't drafted. It's kind of a cute story on him. The 2-2. Got him. Fastball strikeout. As the story goes, the Braves needed a couple of extra pitchers in the rookie camp. I believe it was at Kingsport back in middle 70s. They asked Rick if he wanted to go up there, and look what happened. He's in the major leagues, and he never was drafted.
His brother Mickey was instrumental in it. When they signed Mickey, who was considered by far the better prospect, he said, hey, why don't you take a look at my brother? And they, in fact, told Rick that they didn't think he had a chance to become a major leaguer, but if he wanted to give it a whirl, they had a couple openings, and look how it's worked out.
De Jesus hits it hard into center field. That is hit number 4 off Mailer. Big Steve Carlton. He's not an All-American out. Carlton hits him lefty. Carlton has 11 career homers and 119 career RBI. Lifetime batting .204 before this year. Strike called. Runner going. Throw. Safe. Benedict didn't have a chance. De Jesus just got a big jump on Mailer. That's his 7th stolen base and 2nd in 2 days. Now an 0-2. Got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning. That'll bring on Greg Gross. Skip Carey and Ernie Johnson with you. Final game on this homestand. Tomorrow's off. We open against Los Angeles on Tuesday. That's going to be a road trip that takes us to Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Houston. Tuesday night, Pascual Perez against Oral Hershiser, who's been absolutely brilliant for the Dodgers. I believe it's 3 straight shutouts. Strike call. Craig McMurtry gets a call on Wednesday against Valenzuela, and then Thursday, Len Barker against Honeycutt. I might add that from Los Angeles, Tuesday and Wednesday's games will be on Braves television. No, Monday and Tuesday. Oops.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday will be on. And Wednesday is national TV. The 0-2. A little bit outside.
Monday, we will not televise.
We will not televise because we're not playing Monday.
There you go. Think we got it straight now?
I don't know. We did have our network party last night.
Yeah.
That's radio, and that's a base hit to left field, and Murphy will throw toward the plate, but it's going to be late. And the Phillies now lead 3-0.
Well, Mailer's been pitching in bad luck, but so far in this game, he just hasn't been pitching well. Again, the pitch was down, but he went out and got it and drilled it into center field.
Now Von Hayes. A little bit low. We won't televise on Wednesday.
That's correct.
Okay.
Or Monday.
2-0. Braves have been on national TV this year more than any other time since they came to Atlanta. Strike call. Gross has not stolen a base this year. He's at first base. Braves bullpen becomes active. A little bit of a surprise. It's McMurtry. That's toward left center. Murphy can't make it. They may wave him. They will. The throw in there. Gross scores all the way from first. Hayes gets himself a double and an RBI. Murphy tried to belly flop out there on a great effort, but he just came up short. Gibson to the mound. McMurtry continues to throw.
Another breaking ball, and this one he didn't get down where he wanted it. Murph gave it a try, but the ball keeps hooking away from him. Makes a good play just to keep it in the immediate vicinity, but that allows the runner to score, and it's 4-0 with Carlton pitching. Things don't look too pleasant. If McMurtry gets into this game, it will be his second relief appearance of his life in the major leagues.
Philadelphia Phillies, who lead the National League in hitting, have now picked up 6 hits. We're still in the second inning. The Braves yesterday had 10 when they won 5-3, and when they beat the Phillies 13-1 on Friday, they had 13 hits. But so far today, it's been all Philadelphia. Fouled away. Samuel tripled in a run first time up. Hayes has good speed. He's stolen 24 bases, been caught only 4 times. He's at second. Baylor really struggling this afternoon. Fly ball right. Comments? It's over, but not before Philadelphia picked up 2 more. They lead 4-0 going to the bottom of the second. Mike Schmidt had a sac fly first time up. He leads off the third. He's had 22 career home runs here at the launching pad. Murphy and Schmidt tied for the home run lead in the National. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kingman has 27 to lead the major leagues. King Kong with 27 homers for Oakland. 1-1. Missed it. He got the fastball by him away. Schmidt is second to Carter in RBIs in the National League. He has 67 and Gary Carter 68. One, 2, 2-2. Mets at Cincinnati, no score. They go to the second. Giants at Chicago, no score. They go to the second. Cardinals have been out for a while in the bottom of the first. 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
Boy, that Honeycutt really pitched well for the Dodgers yesterday. He's got a good breaking ball.
Boy, he keeps the ball low, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And on artificial turf, and you can win keeping it low, you're in pretty good shape because the ball travels quite well on the artificial surface. That's a fastball strikeout. Schmidt, who struck out 3 times yesterday against Kemp, stands for the first time here today.
He was probably looking for something off speed, and the fastball got right by him.
We have to compliment Wiwana, Rick Camp, yesterday. He staggered all over the place yesterday in the first couple of innings. Gave up 2 runs. I think he threw 45 pitches in 2 innings and then settled down to pitch a very fine game and win his 5th yesterday. He pitched into the 8th inning, allowing only 3 runs and 2 hits. Then Donnie Moore came on and saved him. Corcoran, who singled the first time up. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike.
I interviewed him on the pregame radio show today and congratulated him on making 5 outs in 3 at-bats. I thought that was quite an accomplishment.
There was a knuckler right there, 2-1. Camp must have ended up throwing about 135 to 40 pitches, and he was a weary man when Torrey relieved him. Hit toward first. Watson. 2 down. Camp actually threw 138 pitches yesterday before being relieved on a warm afternoon in Atlanta. Wilson's a batter.
Excuse me, Ernie, he made a good point, too, in the paper and on that interview. Everybody talks about the disagreement or differing philosophies between Johnny Sain and Bob Gibson and Rube Walker, and that's absolutely true. They do have different philosophies. But Camp says he's learned from all those guys.
A little advice here and a little there.
You take from each what applies to you and apply it.
That might have been the knuckler. 0-2. Mailer trying to have his first 1-2-3 inning. And the 0-2. Rushed him back, 1-2. He's going to have his first 1-2-3 inning. That's Hubbard by second. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd, 4-0 Philadelphia. That's a great catch by Von Hayes. Left his feet. There's no substitute for speed. As we mentioned before, he runs well, and center field is his best position.
And give modern technology some credit, too. The modern glove.
Yes.
Back in the 40s, that ball, there's no way you catch it with the gloves they employed in those days. Very easy inning again for Carlton as Mailer jumps on the first pitch. He has set down 9 straight, and after 3, it's...
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta Braves and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves and the Turner Broadcasting System is prohibited, and the sensitive announcers for this event are employed by the Turner Broadcasting System.
Boy, that was read with great panache, verve, and gusto.
Yes, sir.
He hung a curveball, and Virgil rips it into left center. Murphy on his horse, and he hauls it down on the warning track. He got away with a high curveball there. Murphy outran it in left center, 1 out. There's Johnny Sain, who is now an observer of the Braves. Wes Britt, our computer analyst, alongside.
John was a fine major league pitcher for the old Braves and the Yankees, and he made the adjustment. He was a relief pitcher with the Yankees after starting for many years for the Boston Braves. Everyone knows about that saying, spawn Sain and pray for rain, because they were the 2 big winners on that club.
Oh, and 1 the count to De Jesus, who singled, stole a base, and scored in the 2nd. That'll be easy. Murphy in short center. 2 out. So Carlton bats with 2 out, nobody on. And Mailer has set down 7 consecutive men.
I want to say about that slogan, spawn and Sain and pray for rain, that came about because they felt that they didn't have any other starting pitchers, and those two guys would always win. But Vern Bickford was also, the late Vern Bickford was also a good starter in those years and never got the credit he deserved.
A very, very easy inning for Rick Mailer. Uno, dos, tres, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 4-0 Philadelphia. We go to the top of the fifth, and Greg Gross will lead it off for the Phillies. He's 2 for 2. He's played the role of leadoff man to perfection. Scored twice, driven in a run. A bunt and a line single to center. There's a strike to him. It's 0-1. We are zipping right along, and that's normally the case when Carlton is one of the pitchers. Line drive left field. Royster is there, though. 1 up. Gross is out of there, and Von Hayes the batter. Hayes has flied to right and doubled home a run and made 2 outstanding defensive plays in the outfield.
I want to mention Paulie Fowler of Powell, Tennessee, and J.D. Hilburn Jr. of Mobile, Alabama are the honorary Bat Boy and Bat Girl here today. It was a contest sponsored by the American Dental Association, and we welcome them to Atlanta and hope that they enjoy their stay.
Fastball misses away. He's throwing the fastball more now because I think it appeared that the Phillies just laid back and waited for his off-speed stuff early, so he's gone with the hard stuff a bit more. There it is again, but he misses 2-1.
Gave up 6 hits in the first 2 innings and none since then.
He has shut down 8 straight. Three and 1 the count. The 3-1 to Von Hayes. Another chance for Royster in left. 2 out. And Juan Samuel will bat. He tripled home a run, later scored in the first. Flied to right in the second.
Cardinals got 3 in the third. They lead. Check that. The Dodgers got 3 in the third. They lead the Cardinals 3-0 going to the bottom half. San Diego still 5-1 in the ninth on Pittsburgh. That's the first of 2.
One ball, no strikes. We can say whatever we want today, Ernie. All the executives are in Ted Turner's box.
Yeah.
Ted, Bob Wessler, Jerry Hogan, and Jim Trahey from the sales staff.
We'll be leaving after this half inning, and want everyone to know that we won't be televising on Wednesday
or Monday. Comments to right field, and the inning is over. We're at the halfway point in the ball game, and the score: Phillies 4, Braves nothing.
Well, we go to the top of the 6th. Philadelphia leads at 4-0. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Phils. No runs on 1 hit, the Murphy double, and no errors for the Braves. There you see the leaders in slugging percentage, and that is really amazing. Ryne Sandberg, a second baseman and a great fielding second baseman, leads those players. Here is a great slugger, Mike Schmidt of the Phils. Takes a pitch outside, ball 1. Schmidt hit a sacrifice fly on the first for his 68th RBI, and then he struck out his next time. Two 2-0. Rick Mailer was touched for 4 runs on 6 hits in the first 2 innings. He since has settled down and retired 10 in a row. That's a tough play for Johnson to hit the back. Can he get him? He could with a great throw. Mike Schmidt can get down the line, too. That was a heck of a play by Randy. I think the ball hit right on the bag, and Johnson had a long throw.
Take a second look here. It takes a very long throw on a play like this. Randy moving toward the line. It has to be a strong throw. It has to be an accurate throw. Not much margin for error there.
I guess the ball hit right in back of the bag. One away here is Tim Corcoran, who at 30 years old and spending so long in the minor leagues has become a success story. Len Matuzak got injured. Corcoran went in the lineup, and I don't think they can get him out. He's only hitting .365 or so. He's 1 for 2 today. Before we go any further, Rick Camp and everyone with the Braves wants to wish Lisa Hall from Rick's hometown in Tryon, Georgia, get well. She's recovering from a little injury. Here's Len Matuzak just off the injured list. But for the time being, he has lost his job to Corcoran. Anyway, Lisa, please get well. Hope to see you out at the ballpark soon. The changeup is grounded to Watson. 2-away. Now 2-away here is Glenn Wilson. San Diego takes a 5-1 lead into the 9th inning in Pittsburgh. That's the first of 2. Benedict will not have a play. The ball is back in the stands. Well, you have to feel sorry for Mailer. The Braves absolutely cannot get any runs for him. In Mailer's last 4 starts, he's lost 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, and then he left in the 7th with a 3-2 lead in the game the Braves lost. Changeup has popped up. Watson will catch this. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across for the Phils. At the end of 5 1/2, it's 4-0 Philadelphia. Men in a row, and Joe Torre is going to let him hit for himself, down 4-0 in the 6th. Samuel calls and catches in short. And here's Pete Van Wieren.
Thank you, John. Ozzie Virgil leads it off. Fly ball deep center field, but Murphy will get to it just shy of the track. He grabs it, and Virgil is now 0 for 3. It struck out and fly to center twice. Now the shortstop, Ivan De Jesus. $14 in a row retired now by Rick Mailer. De Jesus had a base hit, stole a base, scored a run back in the 2nd inning. In the 4th, he flied to center. One ball, no strikes. Now the 1-0 pitch. And that missed, making it 2-0. Pitcher Steve Carlton on deck. That ball's well hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. De Jesus around first. He'll head for second. Up with the ball, Royster firing back toward second, but in easily with a stand-up double is Ivan De Jesus. And after retiring 14 consecutive hitters, De Jesus breaks the string with a double off the left field wall. His 2nd hit of the game. His 9th double of the year.
Mailer's fastball was tailing into De Jesus. He still got the bat head out in front and smacked it hard down the line.
Now Steve Carlton, he has struck out and grounded out to first. Gene Garber is now up in the Atlanta bullpen. And the 1-0 pitch by Carlton, 1-1. Craig McMurtry also throwing for Atlanta. one man out here in the top half of the seventh, and the 1-1. 1-2. Phillies leading at 4-0. They have out-hit the Braves 7-1. And down on strikes on the off-speed curve is Steve Carlton. Fourth strikeout for Rick Mailer, out number 2 in the top half of the seventh. And we go back to the top of the order now, and Greg Gross. Gross has singled twice and he's flied to left. He has scored 2 runs, driven in 1. This guy is just a good hitter. He always has been. Came up through the Houston Astros organization. Played a couple of years with the Cubs, then came to the Phillies in '79. Bruce Benedict motioning center fielder Dale Murphy to play a little more straight away. Gross has a base hit into left center field, and Murphy had him shaded that way, but Benedict wanted him over toward more straightaway center.
The manager has to love this. For whatever reason, Paul Owens decided to change some outfielders today. Put Gross in the lineup. Gross normally just off the bench as a pinch hitter, his top lefty pinch hitter. So he plays Gross. What does he do? Gets 2 hits his first 2 times up, scores 2 runs, and knocks in a run. Makes a manager look awfully good.
And showed you a real good job of hitting back in that second inning when he really waited on an off-speed breaking ball by Mailer and looped it into left center for a run-scoring single. 2 men out in the inning. The count 1 ball, no strikes on Greg Gross. DeJesus with a big lead down at second. And the count now 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Mailer has not walked anybody yet. In danger of doing so now, falling behind 3-0 on Greg Gross. Three and one. Waiting on deck is Von Hayes. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that missed low, ball 4. So there's the first walk of the afternoon issued by Mailer. It puts Philadelphia runners at first and second with 2 men out, and it'll bring up Von Hayes, who has flied to right, doubled, and flied to left. His double drove home a run in the second inning. There are your runners. Gross at first, DeJesus at second. Hayes taking a strike, 0-1. Half of the home runs hit this year by Von Hayes have come against Atlanta. Here's the 0-1 delivery, missed low and away with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves are off tomorrow. Tuesday night they open up in Los Angeles with Pascual Perez facing Oral Hershiser. Now the 1-1. Downstairs with something off speed, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Chased a high fastball. 2-2. Paid attendance here this afternoon, 26,334. 26334. And to this point, they have seen a Carlton masterpiece. It's the kind of game you really hate to play when you face Steve Carlton. You get behind early. And then if you don't get him right away in the first couple of innings, he just gets into that groove. And right now, he has a one-hit shutout working. Two and two on Von Hayes. Got him. Inside corner. Hayes didn't think so, and he's going to argue with Dave Pallone. Careful, Vaughn. Hayes going pretty good at Dave Pallone on the strikeout that ends the inning. We go to the bottom half of the seventh. It's still the Phillies 4, Atlanta nothing. That's your red man scoreboard. Here in the 8th inning, Juan Samuel leads it off against Rick Mailer. Didn't mean to. That's a foul ball. Here's the 0-1 from Mailer. High and tight. One ball, one strike. Now it's 1-2. Samuel, Schmidt, and Corcoran do up here in the 8th. Strikeout number 6 for Rick Mailer. He got him on that off-speed curveball. Samuel back in the first inning waited very well on that pitch. That time he got a little anxious. Mike Schmidt with an RBI and a sacrifice fly back in the first. He's also struck out and grounded out to third. One ball, no strikes.
Andy Van Slyke is homered for the Cardinals. It's now 4-1 Los Angeles. Cardinals batting bottom of the 5th.
And Mailer falling behind here, 2-0. It is 4-0 Phillies, top half of the 8th inning. Right to the third baseman, Randy Johnson. Look out, the throw sails way over the head of Bob Watson into the Braves dugout, and down to second goes Mike Schmidt. There was one where maybe Randy Johnson had a little bit too much time to make the throw.
Well, the odd thing about it is Randy normally has not only a good arm, but a very accurate arm. He takes so much time, and he fires the ball over Bob Watson's head. That ball would have been over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's head, too.
That is the first error made by either ball club. It put Schmidt at second base with one out for Tim Corcoran, who has a single in 3 at-bats. They're not going to pitch to him, and you can't blame him. This will be just the second walk given up by Rick Mailer. There is no activity in the Atlanta bullpen. The batter will be Glenn Wilson now, with runners at first and second and one man out. Wilson 0 for 3. He's grounded out to short, popped to second, and fouled out to first. Nothing and 1 to count. Wonder where that came from. There's the candidate. Now the 0-1 delivery. That's a strike, nothing and 2.
Well, I don't know if he has the time to do that, but what a scoop it could give CNN News.
That would be some campaign.
Turner just put up his hands. Ted said, I'm not going to run.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it just missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and there's a bouncing ball hit up the middle. Let's see if Ramirez can get to it. He does. Flips to Hubbard for 1. That's all they'll get. That was a good play by Ramirez. Had that ball been hit just a little more to the left of the bag, a double play would have been a very good possibility, but a very difficult flip to second by Ramirez, and Hubbard had to completely turn his back to first to take the throw.
There you see Ramirez range, and he makes a little kind of sideways flip to Hubby to get the force.
So first and third now with 2 outs for Ozzie Virgil, who has struck out and fly to center twice. That ball pretty well hit. Jerry Royster going back, still going back, and this one's off the wall. Mike Schmidt will score. Being waved around third is Glenn Wilson. He's going to score sliding. And the Phillies have broken it open now. It's 6-0. The 2 runs in this inning, unearned runs. And that is a big 2-run double for Ozzie Virgil. RBIs number 44 and 45.
Earlier today, Virgil has sent Murphy back to the wall. And now he sends Royster back to the fence, and this one hits off the very top of the fence. Didn't miss a home run by more than a couple of feet. He is an unknown quantity, Ozzie Virgil. He's taken the job away from Bo Diaz after Diaz got hurt, and Virgil's had by far his best major league year.
We'll get the intentional walk again, this time to DeJesus. It'll be the 3rd walk issued by Mailer. And Steve Carlton will come to the plate with runners at first and second and 2 men out. So now Steve Carlton hitting with DeJesus at first and Virgil at second. Phillies up now by 6. This has really been a strange series. On Friday night, looked like the Phillies were going to walk right through this place when they outscored Atlanta 9-1. That was on Thursday night, rather. On Friday night, the Braves completely reversed it, winning at 13-1. And a seesaw battle yesterday, 5-3, Braves winning it. And now today, it's been all Phillies again. I guess you could say nobody's really been able to grab the momentum in this series. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1 the count now on Steve Carlton. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Phillies. No runs, just 1 hit for Atlanta. And it's even now at 2-2. Only 4 of those runs allowed by Mailer are earned. The 2-2 on the way. Bouncing ball hit up the middle. Hubbard will come up with it.
The Dodgers, 2 out of 3 from the Giants, and tonight they try to make it 2 out of 3 over the Astros. And Skip, it looks like the Braves are going to have to keep winning 2 out of 3 in their upcoming series to stay alive in this thing.
Well, it may be over already. San Diego may never give up another run this year. The Dodgers may never score another earned run this year. Now, the Padres have been playing great baseball, sort of eclipsing the fact that the Braves are playing a little bit better. And if they can get 2 out of 3 in this one, go home having won 6 out of 9, it'll give them some momentum going into a long homestand. And they have to start playing better at home or they don't have a chance.
And we'll be back with the starting lineups and all of tonight's action right after this. Different look to the Braves defensively tonight. The outfield the same with Cominsk, Murphy, and Washington from left to right. But the infield has Chambliss at first, Ken Overtfell at second tonight. Glenn Hubbard gets a night off. Rafael Ramirez at short, Randy Johnson third. Alex Trevino does the catching for Rick Mailer, who is 7-6 with a 2.54 earned run average. Making his 16th start, his 25th appearance. He has 5 complete games. And is putting together by far the best season of his major league career. Bill Doran lays it off for Houston, batting .259, 1 homer, 25 RBIs. Takes a fastball high and outside, ball 1. Might have been the knuckleball. It's 2-0 now on Doran. Very difficult to pick up Mailer's knuckleball because he throws so many other off-speed deliveries. Count now 2-1 on Doran. He'll be followed by Craig Reynolds and then Denny Walling. That's out of play, 2-2. Rick Mailer, a native of San Antonio, and a lot of the Mailer family out tonight. Watching Rick pitch. Count goes full, 3-2. No score, bottom half of the first. Final game of a 9-game road trip for Atlanta. And Doran reaches with a leadoff walk. That'll bring up the shortstop, Craig Reynolds, who's batting .258, 5 homers, 36 RBIs. He's done a good job at short for the Astros, filling in for Dickie Thon, who's been out since very early in the season when he was hit above the left eye by a pitch. Thon has still not been able to take any live batting practice. He works out on his own, but he's not been able to step back in that cage yet because of vision problems. And I don't know, Skip, as though the doctors are really sure whether those vision problems will ever totally clear up.
They say that they think they will, given time. They had hoped that by this time he would be able to resume, but it's going to take longer. And there is a problem, too, I understand, with scar tissue around where he was hit.
Well, everybody pulls for Dickie Thon, including Craig Reynolds, who's a very close friend of his. The runner is going. The pitch is bunted. Foul off to the left. When you have a pitcher like a Joe Niekro or like a Rick Mailer, for that matter, going for you in a ball game, you manage a little differently. You kind of go into the game with 2 of the top pitchers in the National League facing one another, expecting a low-scoring ball game. And if that's the kind of a game you think you're going to get, you play for 1 run at times much earlier than you normally would. Houston's thinking along those lines. They're in the bottom of the first. That's a foul ball, just foul down the right side.
Well, the first thing we're going to have to do when we get home is take care of all this rain they've been having back in
Yes, I understand. It hasn't really stopped for a very long period of time since we left town.
Pete and I will have that taken care of for you by sometime late Friday afternoon.
About 3 o'clock. We'll see if we can get it to stop. That's 3 o'clock Friday. Craig Reynolds caught looking, not too happy about the call by Bob Davidson. 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Well, you be the umpire. It backed up a little bit. It's marginal. Might have been a little bit inside, but it did back up toward that inside corner.
Now third baseman Denny Walling batting .247. He has 2 homers, 21 RBIs, getting a chance really for the first time in his major league career to play a little bit. He's been used primarily as a pinch hitter and fill-in type player for the Astros, but for the last couple of weeks they've been playing him against right-hand pitching at third base. He takes a fastball high and away. Walling has some power, but that's not always an asset in this ballpark. Runner is going, and there's a perfectly executed hit and run through the vacated hole to left center field. Doran will be stopped at third. And the Astros have runners at the corners with 1 man out.
Perfect execution here, and if they keep Doran running, he scores easily. Murph had a long way to come to get to this ball. Doran has good speed, and the throw to the relay man was fumbled a bit by Ramirez, but they held Doran, which turns out to be a break for Atlanta.
Now the hottest hitter on the Astros ball club, Jose Cruz. He's batting .313 for the year with 6 homers, 60 RBIs, hit well over 400 for the month of July. He's 31 for his last 71. Fouls the first pitch back. This guy just keeps putting together one good year after another, and still you don't hear much about him. One and one the count. For a few years there, it was felt that Cruz never got much publicity because the Astros were a second division team, but then the Astros got pretty good there for a few years. And Cruz still just one of those guys who does the job every day but gets very little publicity for it. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that missed inside. Mailer getting himself into some trouble here in the first inning. He's got runners first and third, only 1 man out, and he's fallen behind now, 3-1 on Jose Cruz. On occasion, you'll see that play work. The crowd hollering balk. It is not. The runner at first is going. There's a swing and a miss. Trevino bluffs the throw down toward second. He was concerned about the runner, Bill Doran, at third, so give Denny Walling a stolen base. His third of the year, and now there are runners at second and third with 1 man out and a 3-2 count on Cruz. There's the 3-2 to Cruz, and there's a drive into right center field. Murphy coming over, makes a nice running catch. Doran will tag at third and score. Holding at second, Denny Walling. Cruz driving in his 61st run of the year, and the Astros take a 1-0 lead.
He hits the daylight out of it, and Murphy makes 2 great plays here. Number one, getting to that line drive, and watch him whirl on the dead run and throw a strike back into the infield to keep the other runner at second base. He had no chance to prevent Doran from scoring.
2 outs in the inning now with Walling at second. Here's Mumphrey batting .282. He has 6 home runs, and there's a drive past third, around third. Denny Walling, they're going to try it. Here comes the throw by Cummins. For some reason, Randy Johnson leaped in the air and cut off that ball. I think they had a play at the plate. If Johnson lets the ball go toward home. But the run scores, and winding up down at second is Mumphrey with his 60th RBI of the season.
Cummins makes a good throw here, and he's got a legitimate chance at the plate, but for some reason, I don't know who yelled or if anyone yelled or Randy misunderstood. He tried to cut it off and didn't even succeed in doing that. It went off his glove for an error, and Mumphrey's at second base. He does get an RBI.
So the Astros have taken a 2-0 lead. The error charged to Randy Johnson, enabling Mumphrey to move from first base to second. Here's Enos Cabell, 293, 5 homers, 31 RBIs. On the outside corner, 0-1. It has been a good road trip for Atlanta. The Braves have won 5. They've lost 3. But there still is a certain consistency in this ball club that Joe Torre is looking for, and really has not occurred on this road trip. Many of the victories have been battles right down to the wire, and I know Joe and the players too feel they would just like to put together 2 or 3 games in a row where they play well. Last night was a very good effort. A little bit shaky start tonight. Here's the 0-2 to Cabell. Missed outside, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 offering. There's the slow curve, hit right back to the mound. Cabell was fooled by that pitch. And the inning's over. But it's a good Houston bottom half of the first. They scored 2. On a couple of hits, there was 1 Atlanta error. At the end of an inning, it's the Astros 2, Atlanta 0. 2 runs here, and they're still looking for their first hit off Joe Niekro. So the Braves have tied it up here at 2-2. Randy Johnson at third, 2 outs. Pitcher Rick Mailer is having a great year at the plate as well as on the mound, hitting .342. No homers and a couple of RBIs. Didn't get the breaking ball, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Gets away from Ashby, not far enough for Randy Johnson to advance. 0-2, the count on Rick Mailer. Now the 0-2 on the way. That's a foul ball. A couple of walks, a wild pitch, a throwing error by Craig Reynolds, a sacrifice fly, and the Braves have tied the score. For third baseman Denny Walling, his throw on to first is there, and the inning's over. But the Braves tie it up here, 2 runs without the benefit of a hit.
Tomorrow night on the Superstation, he's a cowboy at heart in a battle with modern ways. Don't miss Kirk Douglas in Lonely Are the Brave, Thursday night at 8:05 on Superstation WTBS.
Bottom half of the second inning, it'll be the lower third of the order. Terry Poole, Alan Ashby, and Joe Niekro in a 2-2 ball game. By the way, in the top half of the inning, give Randy Johnson an RBI. 1 of the 2 runs scored by the Braves is earned, 1 is unearned. Terry Poole batting .303, 4 home runs, 32 RBIs. 1 ball, no strikes. That's over, 1-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery, missing low, 3-1. Both Mailer and Niekro struggling just a bit with their control early in this ball game. That fills the count on Poole, 3-2.
Astros have a open date tomorrow, too, Pete.
Second baseman Ken Oberkfell on the first one down. Now the catcher, Alan Ashby. I know why you brought that up, Skip, because we get these additional notes that are passed out by the Astros every home game.
Very reminiscent of the notes the Braves provide before every game.
Here's Alan Ashby hitting the first pitch toward third slowly. Randy Johnson fields, throws on to first in time. 2 down. However, if he will be in Houston tomorrow, the Astrodome will be the site of the annual Texas High School North-South All-Star football game. Interesting notation to that. The playing field will not go through the normal conversion to the full football configuration. I'm not quite sure what that means. Perhaps some high schoolers will be in for a rude shock in tomorrow night's All-Star football game.
He's to the 50. No, he's around second.
Watch out for that mound on the 20-yard line. Here's the 1-strike pitch. 1-1.
But the highlight of the during the game festivities here are the play-by-play sheets they bring by every so often. So-and-so grounded to such and such.
2-1 to count on Joe Niekro. Niekro, 151 hitter for the year. No homers, 4 RBIs. We're tied 2-2, bottom half of the second. And the 2-1 delivery is fouled back out of play. That slipped out of Joe's hands. The count even, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 offering. Curveball missed. It's full now. 3-2 on Niekro. Baylor's payoff pitch hit sharply but right at Rafael Ramirez. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Mailer. Nothing doing for the Astros in the second. After 2, we're still tied. Braves 2, Astros 2. We go to the bottom half of the third. Phil Garner is going to pinch hit for Bill Doran to open up the inning. We're tied 2-2. And to tell you about it, here's Skip.
Okay, Pete, thank you. Doran must have injured himself or become ill. Garner looks at a breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Doran missed a few games in the San Diego series preceding this one with a bad right knee. That might have acted up on him again.
Slow curve outside. A ball and a strike to count. Pascual Perez will pitch for the Braves on Friday night against Mark Davis and the Giants. Craig McMurtry against a pitcher yet to be named by Frank Robinson, and then Rick Camp against Jeff Robinson on Sunday. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count to Garner. Tomorrow we'll learn more about the immediate future of Len Barker. He'll go for a doctor's examination of that ailing right arm. Curve, little looper, right to Chambliss, 1 up. Garner is out of there, and Craig Reynolds is the batter. Reynolds called out on strikes his first time. After 4 now, the Yankees lead Milwaukee 6-2. Baltimore, after 5.5, 6-1 over Texas. Cleveland, Detroit 2-2 after 5.5. Kansas City, Toronto 1-1 after 5.5. 0-1 to Reynolds. White Sox lead the Red Sox 1-0 after 2. Seattle beat Minnesota this afternoon 5-1. Bounced foul. Any hope the Montreal Expos had of getting back into the Eastern Division race being crushed by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They lead them 4-0 again tonight after 6. Wanted to get the outside corner, but he did not.
The Expos right now need to worry about Pittsburgh catching them.
That's right.
They are moving dangerously close to the basement in that division.
The natives would tend to get a little restless were that to happen. Oberkfell to his right. 2 down. And Denny Walling will be the batter. Oberkfell came to the major leagues as a second baseman, moved to third with the emergence of Tommy Herr over in the Cardinal scheme of things. But he's a pretty good second baseman. Walling singled, stole a base his first time. And 1 the count to Walling. Josh Marks, our director, has been 25 straight days on the road, but with the convention and directing Braves baseball. Ball and strike the count. They've got him scheduled in for work in the morning. We'll get in about 3:30. Breaking ball is low. 2-1 the count. You don't have to be there till 9:15 tomorrow, Josh. The let-up was right through there. 2-2 the count. It's fair into the corner. He just got enough of the fastball. Walling with a 2-out double. Rick tried to sneak the fastball by him, but he hit it just there past third.
You don't very often see Walling hit a ball the opposite way. He's pretty much a pull hitter, but that time he just got that fastball down the third base line. That's his 6th double of the year.
And Jose Cruz bounced with a potential go-ahead run at second and 2 out. By the way, today was the day they made the formal announcement that the voice of SEC football on WTBS would be our old pal Bob Neal. And we congratulate him. 0-2 the count. Runner at second, 2 down. Bob, the oldest play-by-play announcer working at WTBS. Yes, and I realize Ernie's 60. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Cruz lined a sacrifice fly to center his first time. Slow curve just missed. Count evens at 2-2. Trevino and Mailer wanted that particular pitch.
Let's check the 2-2 pitch again. It was out of the strike zone when Trevino caught it, but that's not what you call. You call where it crosses the plate.
Right off the end of the bat foul. It was out in front of the off-speed pitch. Walling was running. You don't suppose he lost sight of the fact there was not a runner on first? I don't think so. I think he just had a great jump off Mailer. But it is sort of a funny time to be trying to steal. High chop. That might be trouble here. Ramirez got him, and the inning is over. Bang, bang play at first base, and a good play by Rafi. He had to unload in a hurry. One hit, no runs, no errors, and a runner left. We've completed 3 in Houston. The game is tied 2-2. Solid double off the bat of Alex.
He went down and got a fastball. Mumphrey makes a good play here. That ball took a high bounce. It almost got over his head. If it did, Trevino's got at least 3 and maybe could have come all the way around.
Mailer corks it to short. Reynolds fields, throws, and the inning is over. But a profitable one for the Braves. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the 4th inning rolls around. Jerry Mumphrey, Enos Cabell, Terry Poole, the first 3 against Rick Mailer. There's part of a crowd that numbers 16,000 here tonight. The Astros will still be under the 900,000 mark on the air. Read some interesting remarks, by the way, by the president of the Houston team, Al Rosen, the former great Cleveland third baseman. He says when baseball next expands, they should do all their expanding at once, realign their divisions, do it all in 1 year, and then forget about it for a decade or so. Outside to Mumphrey, 1 ball, no strikes. I tend to agree with him, don't you?
Yes, I do, very much.
And if at the same time they could get the rules the same in both leagues. Chambliss will take it himself, 1 away. I mean by that the yes on a designated hitter or no on a designated hitter.
Well, we've had the imbalance the last few years of the American League playing with 14 teams, the National League with 12. I guess the eventual expansion will be to 16 teams in both leagues, and if you do that piecemeal, you're going to wind up with even more imbalance until you finally get to that 16 in each league, and there's no need for that. Might as well just get them all up to 16 all at once and go from there.
Or will there be 32 teams and no leagues or something? Now, you couldn't play everybody. You could, but it would be an awful mess. Well, you figure that out. I figured out the knuckleball and the Astrodome. It's your turn. One and one, the count.
Works out very easily. You could play, if you had a 32 team league, you could play 30 teams once each, and one team 132 times, and everybody plays a 162 game schedule. Works out fine.
Yeah, it really does. And Abner Doubleday the ninth could keep track of all that.
Keep track of that, right.
A 1-1 pitch. That's it. Joe Sambito begins to loosen up. Tell you what, the guy that tunes us in a little late really must wonder. We come back to things from an hour and a half ago. 2-1 the count. Rafi. 2 out. And Terry Poole, the batter. The season series is even at 6 each between these two teams. When they expand and realign, the Braves will almost certainly no longer be in a Western division. It could well be in a Southern division that would include Houston. Just missed inside, 1-1. Could include Tampa, St. Pete. Cincinnati, maybe Indianapolis, and if we're lucky, San Juan. Two balls, two strikes. Into short center. Murph on the move. Running cut. Inning over. Mailer works a 1-2-3 fourth. And after 4, complete your score. Braves 4, Astros 2.
In the Astrodome, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Braves have a 4-2 lead. If anything, Joe Niekro has had too good a knuckleball tonight. Alan Ashby leads off, and he hears the boos from the crowd, but as catches will tell you, almost impossible to catch a good knuckleball. Ashby is 0 for 1. Rick Mailer's first pitch of the bottom of the 5th. The fastball is high outside, ball 1. Along with Ernie Johnson, John Sterling with you now on Braves television, right here at the Superstation. Braves trying to conclude a very successful road trip with a win, 2-0. If they win, it would be 2 out of 3 in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and here in Houston. And the Braves come home for 14 games, and the Padres are away for just about the same amount of time. 3-0 on Ashby. The last time Mailer walked the leadoff hitter was in the 1st inning. He walked Billy Doran, and the Astros scored their 2 runs. 4-2-1 for the Braves, 2-3-1 for Houston. The automatic is right in there, 3-1. Ashby has lost his job to the rookie Mark Bailey. He's probably catching because of his experience handling the knuckleball. That's a base hit to left field. Ashby went down and got it and lined it hard to left. So Ashby at first base, and here is pitcher Joe. As I'm sure Skip and Pete told you, Joe's big brother pitching tonight at Yankee Stadium, and Phil has a 6-3 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Joe is bunting. He does to Mailer. They go to second, throw it away. Good play by Ramirez. Rick Mailer made an awful throw to second base, and Ramirez kept 1 foot on the bag like a first baseman stretched, and he doesn't make that play. That ball is in left center field.
There's a bunt, and Mailer, probably on direction from Trevino, went to second, but watch Ramirez. Low and outside, and he held on to it.
Well, the force play goes 1-6, 1 away, and here is Phil Garner, who came in when Bill Doran complained of some back pains. That had caused Doran to miss a couple of games over the weekend in San Diego. Scrapine is 0 for 1. He popped to first. Now 2-0 on Garner. Mailer has had some problems with his control tonight. He has been pitching behind a lot of hitters. 3-0 now on Phil Garner. Joe Niekro at first with 1 out. There's a strike. Garner, one of the veterans on the Astros who've lost their jobs this year. Garner, Ray Knight, and Alan Ashby have lost their jobs too. Walling, Cabell, and Mark Bailey. That ball inside, and there's another walk. That's walk number 2 against Rick, but Mailer does not have the kind of overpowering stuff which would enable him to pitch from behind. Craig Reynolds now with runners at first and second, tying runs on base, and 1 out. Dodgers and Padres will begin in a few minutes in San Diego. It'll be Alejandro Pena for LA and Ed Whitson for the Padres. down low, ball one. If Mailer has a fault pitching, he hasn't had too many faults this year. He's pitched much better than his record. But if he has a problem, he tries to pitch too fine. He tries to hit corners just at the knees. Comments will give it a run and make the catch near the line. So they're a two-way, and here's a tough hitter, the left-hand hitting Denny Walling.
Cummins covered some ground out there. Now with 2 outs, it's almost got to be a tweener to score Niekro from second base. He can't run that well. He'll be 40 this year.
And he is pitching better than ever. His record, his ERA, gets better seemingly every year. Walling is 1 for 2. Check that. He's 2 for 2. Single to center, then he hit the double right over the third base bag his last time. Obi will make the play at second base, and that takes care of the 5th inning for Houston. No runs on a hit. Houston leaves 2 at the end of 5. It's 4-2 Braves. Jose Cruz leads off for Houston here in the 6th, and Mailer hits the outside corner right at the knees. Cruz, a sac fly his first time. He hit a bullet to right center. Murph made a heck of a catch. There's a base hit from the old hitmaker, Jose Cruz. That's hit number 5 off Mailer. And so the Astros have the tying run to the plate. No one out here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-3-1 for Atlanta. 2-5-1 for Houston. Now here is Jerry Mumphrey. The Braves have had no action in their bullpen, but see some stirring around in the dugout. The dugout is right next to the bullpen. And there goes Pete Falcone headed down toward the warm-up area. Pitch. Oh, there's a base hit like a bullet to right field. Cruz will hold at second. Claudel fires it back in. That ball just missed Cruz and also just missed the Chambliss glove. Mumphrey hit it hard, and the Astros have 2 on, no out. There's Falcone starting to warm in the Braves bullpen. This is one of those ball clubs that you really need a left-hander. The Braves have had good use out of Falcone this trip. Terry Forster expects to get off the disabled list this weekend. Houston has so many left-hand hitters that you just need some lefties to come in and get a key out. Bob Gibson on his way to the mound. You know, while he does, you see there are so many banners in the Astrodome proclaiming they're Braves fans, the Braves are their team. So many fans, as many fans here seemingly as Astro fans. All around the stadium you see nothing but Braves signs, which if I was an Astro would kind of tick me off a little. Well, I met one of the Braves fans today. Melvina and Anthony Chapman. They're from the Virgin Islands, and Ernie, they say that Virgin Islands has just a host of Braves fans. They want to say hello to their mom, Viola Chapman. 2 on, no one out. Here is Enos Cabell. Cruz at second and Mumphrey at first. The pitch is a strike as Cabell squared. He didn't offer at it, so.
See if they still bunt. You've got to field it quickly in order to get a force at third on Cruz.
Both Cruz at second and Mumphrey at first run very well. Not bunting, lines it to center field. There's Murph. Well, there's one away. However, in all fairness, that ball was really tagged in. Mailer simply may be running out of steam here in the 6th inning.
3 balls have been hit right on the nose, and Atlanta's been rather fortunate here tonight. They've gotten some breaks from the defense of Houston, and a couple of balls have been hit right at somebody.
Mailer 88 pitches here in the 6th inning. That's not a lot, but he left 2 runners on last inning and gave up 3 straight shots. Here's Terry Poole, an awfully tough lefty hitter. That could be 2. Great play by Mailer. It is a double play. Boy, Rick Mailer made a whale of a defensive play. That's a tough play. And he started the double play. No runs on 2 hits, 1 left. Mailer, the key play was making the stab. Then he fed Ramirez perfectly, and they get an easy double play. At the end of 6 innings of play, Braves 4, the Astros 2.
Here is the batter. He is 0 for 2. Joe Sambito throwing for Houston. He's been in 20 ball games. It's good to see him back. He missed about a couple of years. That's too short. That's an out.
Of the new owners of Eastern Air.
Tonight on the Superstation, a submarine captain clashes with a rebellious sailor in the heat of World War II. Film is Cary Grant in Destination Tokyo. It's coming up right after the game right here on the Superstation WTBS.
Ashby fouls the first pitch away. He is 1 for 2. Single last time up. A happy birthday to Will Searcy. Down in Sycamore, Georgia, he is 105 today. Way to go, Will. The 0-1. That's 0-2 on a fastball outside corner. Bass is on deck. He will hit for Joe Niekro. Mailer with an 0-2. Slow curve. Just missed outside and low. 1-2. They have Julio Solano warming up in their bullpen. Sambito sat down. Now the 1-2. Little low of the curve. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have nothing but nail biters here. There's Solano. 2-2 pitch. In the right field, base hit. Ashby waited and laced it in the right. That's the 3rd straight inning they've had the leadoff batter on. All 3 times by singles. Braves bullpen may get active. Kevin Bass is a pinch hitter for Joe Niekro. Gene Garber starts to walk toward the Braves bullpen. 1-0. Chambliss playing behind Ashby. He's not very fast. Trying to protect against the left-handed hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. Last couple of innings, Mailer's been in trouble, but he's worked his way free. He helped himself with a double play in the 6th on a grounder hit to the mound. 2-0. Thomas can't make the play in for a base hit. He had to play it on the bounce, and Mailer's in hot water again. That's hit number 8 by the Houston Astros. And Garner's a batter. He's been a thorn in the side of the Braves in this series. He won Monday night's game with a pinch hit single last night. He came on when Doran had to leave the ball game due to a bad back. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He'll probably bunt. Mailer, he won't bunt. That's a base hit to center field. Murphy will fire toward the plate. It's going to be late. And Garner has done it again. They chose not to bunt to move the runners in a scoring position, and it paid off. The Braves are looking for a bunt, and he singles to center.
It was a fastball right over, and Garner hit it just past Ramirez. And Murph's throw just a little bit late getting Ashby. However, Kevin Bass stayed at second base. Well, the Astros in great shape now to tie the game and maybe even take the lead. Bob Gibson will come out and talk to Mailer. 3 straight base hits here in the 7th. It's a 4-3 game.
The batter is Reynolds. And we'll see whether he bunts. Similar situation in the 6th. Cabell fouled off a bunt. Runners first and second, nobody out. Then they let him hit, and he lined to center. Situation comes up again in the 7th. Bob Lillis says hit away, no bunt. And Garner delivers, and it's a 4-3 game. And the Braves in big trouble here in the bottom of the 7th. Reynolds is 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded out, fly to left. Braves are looking for that bunt again. And you feel that Reynolds will drop one down. But they went against the book on Garner. He is bunting. Naylor with one play. Oberkfell covers. They've got the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. Sacrifice is perfect, 1-4. Pitcher to the second baseman covering. Now Mailer will be lifted. Torrey on his way to the mound. Been in trouble in the last 3 innings, but he couldn't wiggle free this time. Falcone will be called upon. They'll give Mailer 6 and a 3rd inning. And while Falcone warms up, we'll break away for this message.
Oh, I'm Steve Bedrosian, the Atlanta Braves. When I'm at the stadium, the Braves provide me with my uniform and equipment. When I leave the ballpark, I want to wear something that identifies me with the team. So I turn to the Braves Clubhouse Collection, a mail-order catalog that offers everything a Braves fan could want or need.
For instance, stylish men's and women's coordinates make perfect leisure wear for Braves fans all over the country. From T-shirts and shorts to more formal apparel such as ties and belts, the Clubhouse Collection offers something for everyone from adults to the youngest fans.
Also available are official uniforms, exactly like the one I'm wearing now.
The Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog also contains a section featuring gift and novelty items, such as pennants, player photos, balls, bats, and much, much more. When you order from your Braves catalog, you know it's official because you've purchased directly from the Atlanta Braves. Order your catalog today by sending $1 to Braves Catalog, P.O. Box 4064, Atlanta, Georgia, 30302.
All right, we got a pinch hitter. Walling will be lifted. Jim Pankovitz will pinch it. He came on as a pinch hitter last night and failed to hit. Rick Mailer watching from the sidelines. He pitched 6 in the 3rd innings. Gave up 9 hits and so far 3 runs. Those runners out there belong to him. And there are 2 of them. Bass is at 3rd. Garner's at 2nd. Falcone has appeared in 2 games in this series and has been effective. 2 scoreless innings. 0-1. Jose Cruz on deck. Boy, what a month of July he had. He got my vote. He batted over 400 for the month. Mike Scioscia just hit a home run in the 2nd inning for the Dodgers. They lead the Padres 1-0. Time call. That was the first earned run scored by the Dodgers in 50. They had gone 52 innings without an earned run. That's over third. Base hit. This game's going to be untied. A single and 2-run score. Pankovitz with a 2-run single. Houston 0-2. On the way. Popped him up. Ramirez should catch it. And he does. One down. Tankovic still at second base. This is Mumphrey. With his heavy hitter Cruz, who's having a good month and a good year. Pitches high. Bob Lillis stayed away from the bunt to get the tying run to third. Now the 1-0. Hit foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bedrock pulling his neck. Trying to get out of this. He's got a 1-run lead. They have 13 hits and the Braves have 8. Mumphrey has 2 hits tonight. And 1 RBI. Cabell is on deck. Tankovic at second. And the 1-1. Hit foul. Back out of play. 1 and 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Signed by Trevino. And a 1-2. Popped him up. Short left. Comments coming in. He's got it. That's 2 down. We're down to 1 out. Anita Cabell, batter. He is 1 for 4. Tankovic at second base, 2 away. That's a tying run at second. Bedrosian with the first pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Bedrock getting his sign from Trevino. Now an 0-1. Here it is. Popped him foul out of play. 0-2. Tankovic at second base. He had a leadoff double. Cruz popped to short. Mumphrey flied to left. Now an 0-2. It's on the way. Just slowing away 1 and 2. That was close, brother. Boy, you can judge by the fan reaction. You could hear the oohs and ahs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cabell, who likes to hit to right field, had a home run to left here yesterday, but he hits to all fields. They play him to right. The 1-2 popped him up. Will it stay in? Trevino and Johnson. Trevino, Braves win. A great job of relief pitching by Steve Bedrosian. They had the tying run at second with nobody out. And Bedrock, boy, take that deep breath. Stephen, you earned it. Final score, Braves 6, Astros 5. John has the total.
Okay, Ernie, as you see, the Braves a very happy group as they win a nail-biter, 6-5. 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Braves. They left 4 on. The Astros 5 runs, 13 hits, and 1 error. They left 10 men on base. Julio Solano, who came in to give up the 2-run home run to Dale Murphy, loses it. He's 0-1. Pete Falcone wins it. He's 5-6. Steve Bedrosian gets his 11th save, and Dale Murphy, the game-winning RBI, his 8th. Boy, you saw some heat after the opening double by Pankovic. Unbelievable Bedrosian heat. He induced 3 straight pop-ups, 1 to short, 1 to short left, and then 1 that Trevino caught up the third baseline. And he did it with nothing but that superior fastball of his. It was another nail-biter for the Braves, but the Braves really don't play any other kind. The Braves were able to scratch some runs early off Joe Niekro's dancing knuckleball that danced away from Alan Ashby a few times. And the Braves got some base hits for the next 2 runs. And Dale Murphy's homer won it. Here's Randy Johnson, who hits a ground ball That brings in a run early on. The throw by Reynolds goes way over Ashby's head. Chambliss scores. And that made it 2-1. Then Alex Trevino hit a sacrifice fly to score Brad Cummins. Houston had scored 2 runs in the top of the first off Rick Malin. So it was 2-2. In the top of the fourth, the same players combined their talents to get 2 runs for the Braves. That's one of the pitches that danced away from Ashby. Chambliss trying to score on the short pass ball. Joe Niekro came in. Ashby couldn't find it. He couldn't pick it up. Then Alex Trevino went down and hit a knuckleball right off the edge of the plate and doubled into the gap in left center field. That scored Brad Cummins. The Braves had a 4-2 lead. But the Astros came back in the 7th with 4 hits and a sacrifice. Here's one of the hits, a base hit by Phil Garner. That made the score 4-3. Runners later moved to second and third. Pete Falcone came in to relieve, and Jim Pankovitz came up to pinch hit, and he lined a single to left field. That scored both Kevin Bass and Phil Garner. 5-4 Astros. Then Julio Solano came in to pitch in the top of the 8th. Rafael Ramirez singled, and then Dale Murphy drove it to deep center field. You see Mumphrey go back to the wall, give a leap, and the ball was over the wall. Murph's 26th home run of the year, a 2-run home run, scoring Ramirez ahead of him. The Braves had the lead 6-5, and Bedrosian made it stand up, even though Pankovitz led off the 9th with a double. So the Braves go 6-3 on the road trip. Right now are 8 games behind San Diego, depending on what the Padres and Dodgers do tonight.
Okay, they'll be either 8.5 or 7.5. 7.5 if Los Angeles beats the Padres, and they're 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd right now. Following this telecast, Destination Tokyo with Cary Grant. And we ask you to stay tuned. Tomorrow's an off day, and the Braves can really use it. They've played a lot of baseball lately. They'll open against the San Francisco Giants on Friday at home. 7:35 is TV time. Until then, for John Sterling, Skip Carey and Pete Van Weren, Josh Marks and Richard Croker and the whole gang here at Houston, this is Ernie Johnson from the Astrodome, and on this winning night, so long, everybody.
TBS Sports has presented Atlanta Braves Baseball, America's team. Braves Baseball was brought to you by Bud Light. The best has a taste all its own. Satisfying, but never filling. By the people of Eastern Airlines. They earn their wings every day. By the Wonder Wagon, the all-new 1984 Toyota van. It fits in the garage. And by the people in your town who bring you delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. When it comes to big refreshment, Coke is it. By Canon, the official 35mm camera of the 1984 Olympics. And by Cable News Network and CNN Headline News.
Coming up next on Superstation WTBS, a submarine captain and a rebellious sailor clash on a perilous mission to World War II Tokyo. Cary Grant stars in Destination Tokyo. And right after, see Jack Lemmon in the classic comedy Under the Yum Yum Tree, here on Superstation WTBS.
This woman is sound asleep. And even while she dreams, she is actually losing unwanted pounds.
Using racism tonight to get votes. That's the charge being leveled by a black leader here in town. It all started yesterday after a routine interview with our reporter, Bruce Howard.
The local Republican chairman told me yesterday that Jesse Jackson's speech scared 15 white Democrats into joining his party because they saw Jackson's emotion causing a rising up of the masses, sort of a promotion of class and race warfare. Today, a Jackson supporter called those words racist.
I think it's fabricated racism designed to motivate Republicans against the Democrats.
Reverend Black, who used to be on city council, says he hadn't seen anything like this in 20 years. Is this dangerous for our community?
I think it's a dangerous approach. I think that the majority of Republicans in this city would not want that kind of approach to motivation in support of their party.
He says elections can be won on the issues, not on dividing the community by using race. Reverend Black, who's been pastor of the church 35 years, says these sort of campaign tactics indicate that the local Republican Party chairman must be pretty nervous about whether Reagan can defeat Mondale this fall. Bruce Howard, News Center 4.
That hoopla is over on the West Coast. Delegates have left San Francisco, and now it's up to Geraldine Ferraro and Walter Mondale to carry on from here out. The Democratic team had one last San Francisco appearance today, a victory breakfast to send off the faithful with a war cry in the ear. Polls show the Democratic ticket down by roughly 15 points, but that didn't keep them from predicting victory. Texas delegates mostly spent this day flying home. One of those flights included our Sharon Jones, who covered the convention for us this week. Lori?
Well, this is National POW-MIA Day, a time to remember the American servicemen captured, the American soldiers who didn't come home. They remembered at Randolph Air Force Base today. All the servicemen were represented as former PLWs gathered to recall their experiences, and the men still listed as missing in action. Flags and a wreath were laid at the monument of the missing man, and a flying formation passed overhead for all the Americans who gave their lives for their country. And there's something else to be remembered today, too.
An anniversary, a happier time. The historic moment 15 years ago when man, an American man, first walked on the moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The voice of Neil Armstrong still gives you goosebumps, doesn't it? Part of the Apollo 11 crew that made history in 1969, 9 years after John Kennedy's challenge to America to put a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth. Still no clues tonight, and certainly no footprints to track down after a daring helicopter robbery in North Texas today. It was like something out of a movie. Gunmen stole a helicopter from a Galveston airport and used it to swoop down on a Valley View bank. As the hot chopper touched down on the bank's lawn, 4 men loaded with automatic rifles rushed the bank and cleaned it out. A 5th bandit stayed with the getaway whirlybird, waving to passers-by as if nothing was happening. A similar heist was pulled off in Louisiana last February, and now for the second time, the bandits have lifted off into thin air.
Well, still to come, an exciting play in town. We'll look at it on Nightcap.
And the conclusion to Vicious Circle, our series this week on violence, and look at cockfighting and why no one has been arrested for it in town during the current sheriff's administration.
There's a brand new load of Wrangler jeans coming to Foley's. And now, through Saturday, men's Wrangler jeans are only $13.99 per pair. Boys only $12.99, and young boys just $9.99. 100% Wrangler no-fault denim with a fit that doesn't forget. So save on all Wrangler jeans during the Wrangler Wagon Train sale at Foley's, now through Saturday.
The hotter it gets, the better a salad tastes. And H-E-B's got large, crisp heads of California iceberg lettuce at 3 for $1. A necessity in the kitchen, brawny paper towels. Value priced at 2 jumbo rolls for $1. And for a dry, happy baby, H-E-B's Park Lane disposable diapers with elastic gathers. A daytime bag of 60, an extra absorbent bag of 48, or a toddler bag of 40. Your choice, a low $4.99. Limit rights reserved. And keep playing $1 million Texas Discovery Bingo. Details at H-E-B.
Weberg says no, no, no. You'll say yes, yes, yes. Now at Weberg's, and for a limited time only, no down payment on anything you buy, and no payment charges for 90 days, and no interest charges for 90 days. And that's not all. Incredible sale prices, too. It's a fantastic offer. Nothing down, no payment or finance charges for 90 days, and sale prices, too.
Weberg's Furniture World.
Wow.
Broadway Dodge, Texas #1 volume Chrysler product dealer, says take your vacation in your new car or van with no payments till September.
Yes, and with no down payment and up to 60 months to pay. Select this 84 Aries K-Car 2-door on sale this week for only $79.95. Or choose this D100 pickup for the low, low price of just $69.95.
And we have over 500 new cars and trucks to choose from, all at the best prices.
All roads in Texas lead to Broadway Dodge.
Open Sundays and weeknights till midnight.
Tonight, in the last part of our series on violence this week, Vicious Circle, News Center 4 reporter Richard Griffin will take another look now at all of the illegal animal fighting going on in Bexar County, and it does go on, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yesterday, we began a conversation with our sheriff
about his attitudes towards stopping illegal animal fighting in this county. We know there has never been an arrest for dog fighting or cockfighting during Nieves' administration. Yet this week we've shown you that such activity is commonplace nonetheless. More than one cockfighter has claimed Nieves knows exactly what's going on, and he allows it.
This man's name is Higdon. He operates an illegal cockfighting pit in South Bexar County. He says he's done so for more than a decade. He says he's never had any trouble with the law.
We've been on top of that. As soon as we get information, we'll put a stop to it.
This is Sheriff Joe Nieves, and he admits he's known about Higdon for years. He's even been to Higdon's farm on the day of a cockfight.
I was out there several years ago. I don't know how long.
Was it during a chicken fight?
They were getting ready to have one, I believe. I wasn't sure if yet. Yeah. I think I talked to that man, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 times in the last few years. I don't even know how long that is.
What did you talk about with him?
Heck, I don't even remember.
Sheriff or not, Nieves never reported that fight. Should he have? We got a hint of the answer to that when we told him we had been to cockfights during the last month.
Here in Bexar County? Yeah. Well, as a citizen, you should have reported it to us so we could have stopped it. I would tell you this, and you can try us, you or anyone else. You make us aware of a situation that's wrong and then see how long it takes us to react to it.
There's going to be a fight Sunday.
I'll bet you.
At Higdon's.
I bet you there's not.
I bet you not now.
No. No.
True to his word, 2 days later, the sheriff sent a task force of deputies to Higdon's place.
We had information you had a rooster fight out here.
No, well...
You know that's against the law. I'm sure you know that.
Well, I've been against the law for 60 years.
But the scheduled cockfights hadn't started yet. Higdon would claim later that he got a tip from out of town about the coming raid.
And I'm going to tell you something else. These people are going to continue to fight. They're going to fight them in their living rooms. We did have 500 people coming down here. We got nobody.
No one was arrested here. Deputies say they simply couldn't find enough evidence.
I'm not complaining about you. I understand it.
What these people are telling me, and I've got it from more than just one person, is that Bexar County goes soft on animal fighters.
No, it's animals. It was roosters a while ago.
Let me rephrase that. What these people tell me is that Bexar County goes soft on cockfighters.
I don't think so. I really don't, because I haven't kept track, but my men have been out there on more than one occasion. We're not only there, different places in the county, and stop that sort of activity, and we'll continue to do that.
Nieves told us that animal fighting is like prostitution. He said, quote, "It could never be stamped out," end quote. In Bexar County, that's almost a promise. We call this series Vicious Circle because that's exactly what is going on in our world. And as long as people allow violence to be acceptable in any form, legal or illegal, then you have to kind of wonder about the future of the human condition.
You talked with the sheriff about the letter of the law. Did he ever indicate to you in your long discussions that he found animal fighting repulsive, personally?
Well, as a matter of fact, he told me that he had been to the cockfights in Nuevo Laredo, which he pointed out was legal. And he said that's very much like going to Las Vegas.
Okay. Good series. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
Well, one of the sheriff's former right-hand men, Jerry Villarreal, convicted today on charges of conspiracy to extort money from massage parlors. But he was found not guilty on charges of actually taking the money. His lawyer says the whole thing is politically motivated. Nieves, of course, is up for re-election in November. They'll wait till the sentencing in September before deciding if they will appeal today's verdict.
Yesterday's rain did a little good, a little. The Edwards Aquifer level climbed almost a foot, 624.2 feet right now. It's a dozen feet up above that mandatory level, and it's up 9/10 of a foot since yesterday. Meantime, parts of the Guadalupe River north of here look just like big puddles. That's it. For the first time since the Canyon Dam was built 20 years ago, the lake is not getting any water from the river. The city of Seguin is even thinking tonight of reopening some of its unused wells to feed that river. So we need more rain.
We sure do, and John's not even talking. He's just...
I'm just
every
saying,
time I ask him, it's what?
Yeah, I know. I hate to be so fishy about it, you know, but all it's been doing is giving us a little chance of rain here and there.